the gap with the sealer. The remaining gaps, you will use accessory cones, right? You use multiple accessory cones to close the root canal space or gaps. And there's spreader which help you to close and to adapt those accessory cones. Like nowadays, we don't apply this technique. It's time consuming. We have much more easier techniques. We have better techniques with better outcomes. Okay? So if you go to the hot is like sensitive technique. Okay? We have special equipment that we use it for the hot technique. And for the long and tight and curved canals, like we can't use hot technique. Okay? So in hot, what we do is that we will put the master cone, we will cut it to the apical area, 4 to 5 millimeters. Then we will apply heat and adapt it to the canal system. After that, we should refill the gap, the remaining part of the canal, by hot, or we name it soft getaber. Okay? So the hot was good, was excellent technique. Still now, many clinicians, they do it. Still now, many textbooks, they mention that the best technique is the hot. While there's many disadvantages with the hot technique, like it's sensitive. Why sensitive? Because it produces heat during application and during the procedure to the dentine and even to the cementum, which makes irreversible damage. This is the first one. The second one, you need special equipment. You need skill. Okay? So I prefer, and in my idea, nowadays it's not the exact, like it's not time for the hot. We have much more better techniques. We have single cone technique. It's much more easier and it's simpler, and all of us, we can apply it and with the same result of hot. Guys, I want to show you a case how to apply hot technique, how to obturate the canal system with the hot. Okay, as you see, it's very sensitive technique. Okay, I use it to use hot technique like 3 to 4 years before now. But since 2018 or at the end of the 17, I avoid using hot because I found that there's MTA and with the generation of the bioceramic sealer. So nowadays we don't have to use the hot technique. Because of the point that I mentioned, because of the الأجهزة, technique حساسة, okay, and it's contraindication in curved, long, and tight canals. While the single cone technique, now we will go for it, it's much more easier and it's much more simpler. So we will go for the single cone technique. We will discuss what's single cone technique and what's the difference between single cone technique and the other techniques. Single cone technique advantages, they are time saving and less control and simple to apply. In single cone, we will prepare the canal and we will determine the master cone. Then we will apply non-resolvable sealer with the cone. Single cone per canal. You don't have to use accessory cones with the single cone technique. If we compare between like before production of an invention of bioceramic sealer, the sealer was very poor point during the oxidation. That's why like we avoided to use too much sealer within the canal or to seal or to fill the gaps within the root canal by the sealer. Why? Because it was resorbable, it was weak, it was soluble. But nowadays with the non-resorbable one, we have bioceramic, we have MTA, and we have resin sealer. They are non-resorbable. They are very strong. That's why nowadays, even اكو article ده هسه يدرسون نسوي obturation without beta-beta بس بالسيلر واكو case report. Okay? Let's see how we will manage and how we will obturate by the single cone technique. So as you see, it's very simple. Like, imagine when I do root canal, my staffs, like when I reach the obturation, they prepare acid edge and bonding because they know that it's just less than 1 minute I will obturate all of the canals. Less than 1 minute. Okay? When I do cone check, after cone check, I need one maximum, in difficult cases, 2 minutes to obturate most of the cases. Because it's very simple, applicable, single cone technique. So here is the difference, like in the single cone technique, we fill the gaps by the sealer, while in hot, will depend on the soft getaberka to fill all of the gaps. Simply is the difference. So in single cone technique, as a technique, we use the master cone, same taperness of the file. Like in single cone technique, we will go for the taper 6. As you know, we have taper 4, taper 6. We will go for the taper 6. Most of the time, we want to enlarge more coronally. Okay. We will select the same taperness of the master cone, depending on the master file. Then we will apply non-resorbable pay attention to this term. You should use non-resorbable sealer in single cone technique. Okay? Non-resorbable sealer. That's, you'll apply to the canal, then insert your cone. It's optional to use another cone or not. It's optional. In very large canals, you can insert auxiliary cone with it. Like I will obturate with the 40 taper 6. I'll put one F1 adjacent to it. That's it. So here is the case. I'll demonstrate the case for you, step by step. Okay, it's extracted tooth. The canal, they are large. How I obturated the canal by the single cone technique, and imagine what will happen in the apical area when we obturate it. So here's the preoperative X-ray. And after instrumentation and cleaning and irrigation, this is the access. This is the anatomy of the apical foramen. It's irregular and large canal. This is the cone check. It seems to be fit, right? It seems to be fit, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see in the apical area. It's not. There's many gaps. X-ray always it's 2-dimension, while it will not show us the 3-dimension. That's why we can't depend it. I used to say that in endo, imagination is everything. Like you should imagine the anatomy of the canal. When I went to develop my skills in endo, first of all, I read the chapter of the internal anatomy, okay, to imagine more. To imagine more, to know how it's the shape of the canal, how is the cross section of the canal. When you imagine, you can manage it. So I will apply the sealer, then I will insert my cone, the same cone. You see, how's my sealing? I got it. That's it. It's very simple. It's very easy. I'll obtain the best sealing that I want. يعني أنا ما أشوف شيء زين ويعني تروح للهود تستعمل الهود. إذا تسألني أنا شخصيا ممكن بعض الشركات يعني ما يحبون هيك الرأي، بس الهود هسه هو ماركتينج. اكيد الشركه عندها هوايه ديفايسز اوكي، وللاسف اكو يعني سبيكرات يسوي ماركتينج ودا يشوف بس علميا هسه واذا تروح للابديت مال تكست بوكس مال يعني هالسنوات الاخيره يعني وضوحا بدك تشوف كلش واضح السنجل كون تكنيك nowadays is the most preferred technique. Okay. So non-resorbable sealer, we have calcium silicate sealer, which they are two types. We have MTA and bioceramic, and we have resin sealer. Resin sealer is another generation of the sealer. Okay, the bioceramic sealer, like it's the best type of sealer with the most advantage. Like we have many strong points of bioceramic. It's more rather opaque. It's like much more stronger in physical property. It's more flowable. Okay, it's much more easier to apply. It will bond. So we can say it's full option, the bioceramic. While MTA is good, I will go for the MTA in very large canals because the feeler of the MTA sealer is much more bigger. It's thicker. Okay. Sometimes I will use it in very large canals to obturate the canals. Resin sealer is resin. It will chemically bond to the canal, to the dentine. For ordinary cases, nowadays, most of the time, I will go for the resin sealer for ordinary cases. And unfortunately, I don't have many ordinary cases. Like most of the cases, they are referred, re-endo, okay, there is lesion, huge lesion, instrument fracture. So most of the time I will go for the bioceramic. When I go for the bioceramic, my best choice it will be the beautiful one field, which is I'm very comfortable with it and use for most of the cases that you can see it. So always access opening and instrumentation, and simply I will go and apply the single contact technique for the obturation. Even there is instrument fraction, I bypass it here. I will go for the single contact technique, and I will apply the bioceramic to seal every point within the canal. Another case is severe curvature. Again, I will depend on the single contact technique for the obturation. Another case here is accessory anatomies and huge lesion on the 4, on the 5 and 6. Again, I will depend on the single contact technique for the obturation. So as you see in the curves and accessory canals, even split fractures, all of it you can depend and you can seal it with the single contact technique. Even in the C-shaped canal or half-shaped canals, I used to using the single contact technique for the obturation. You know that the area it will clean by the instrumentation and irrigation, especially by the irrigation and activation. It will be clean space. When apply a good flow of sealer, it will flow to the everywhere within the canal. Again, single contact. So all of the cases and many other cases, you can see it. I can show you. I have checked by the single contact technique, and like I'm very comfortable with it, and the result is excellent. Even like nowadays, I see that healing is much more faster with it. دكتور يعني اشوف هيلينج عندي كيسات يعني كلش بيج ليجن ورا 6 شهور يعني. Okay, so we have another, like, there's some cases I will go for the MTA apical plug. I will use MTA, pure MTA for the obturation. When the canal is very large, the apical area is destructed, like we have external root resorption or already we have trauma to the tooth. Here I can't depend on the single contact technique. Okay, sometimes it's the best option to go for the MTA apical plug. Let me show you how we plug the MTA to the apical area.